fall off. Now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out. Talking just to feel heard, I never listen, although they say it's strictly. Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon. I'm a fan of sport, and Quick Hits is dropping weekly to discuss headlines in the field of sports. So if that's what you came for, go ahead and give this video a like and get into those comments. Let's talk some sports. But most importantly, go ahead and subscribe to the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel and go through the plethora of podcasts that we have for some very good content creators in the field of TV and movies, sports, and sports entertainment. Before we jump into the show, I have some shout outs that I want to give. The very first one goes to Cody Johnson from Drew Code Sports Talk. He helped me out with a lot of the reels for this week. He's been helping us with all we've been doing with the channel. He's been a good friend to it as well. You've probably seen him on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis, seen him on 3 from Deep with Jason Colenso. He's a very good mind when it comes down to sports. We have a lot of fun with him. We look to be working with Cody a little bit more. And most importantly, I appreciate you for helping me out this week. The second shout out is going to go to Tim Collins from the Answer the Call podcast. He's been engaging with a few of us from Boom Broadcasting. He started engaging with me this week on some of the reels. Been looking at your podcast, man. You've been doing a very, very good job. I appreciate the love. Thank you for being a good friend to the podcast. And last but not least, everybody that's interacted on the socials, on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for all the interactions, positive or negative, doesn't matter. I enjoy talking sports with everybody. We thank you for all of that. We thank you for what you do for Boom Broadcasting. I thank you for what you do for me. So what are we going to talk about today? So, of course, I'm going to hit you with the Fan of Sports segment where I go through different sports. There's some stuff that's happened in the field of sports. We got some tournaments going on. We have some playoff implications. We have some finals games that are going to be coming up. We're going to be crowning some champions in the near future. We're going to be covering that. We've got some winners that have performed well this week in their respective sports. We'll talk about that in the Fan of Sports segment. And of course, you know I'm going to be covering the WNBA here on Quick Hits. This is going to be the only place where you get your WNBA. So if you're a fan of the WNBA, make sure that you keep it locked on Quick Hits every week as we talk about the season. I'm looking forward to all of that. So without further ado, let's start the show. Now let's hit this Fan of Sports segment as we had some great sports go on this week. I'll be covering the college baseball. I'll be covering the French Open and other tournaments as they go into the later rounds. But for this week, we had some great notable sports action going on. We began on Memorial Day, where Cornell defeated Maryland 13-10 for the men's national championship of lacrosse. CJ Kirst, 6 goals on the game as he got the win with Cornell. He's the number 1 pick of the Premier Lacrosse League's Philadelphia Water Dogs, and he's the 4th son of the Kirst family to be going to the Premier Lacrosse League. Colin and Connor, his 2 older brothers, play for the Boston Cannons, and his other brother Cole plays for the California Redwoods. Congratulations to CJ Kirst. Congratulations to his family. Has another son going into the sport of lacrosse. Let's hope that he makes it good with his career. Then we go into auto racing. We had some interesting stuff happen on Sunday in the auto racing field. Oscar Piastri wins the Spanish Grand Prix Sunday morning in Formula One. We had a little scuffle, had a little drama go on in that race as Max Verstappen gained 3 penalty points for a wreck that was caused in this race. George Russell was on the receiving end of that wreck. Verstappen, he's got 11 points on his super license. And if he gains 1 more point, which is 12, He will serve a one-race ban. Verstappen, he's third in points behind Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in the Formula One standings. Max Verstappen's my guy. Now, you got to drive better than that, man. Come on, Max. You got to win the Formula One. You're a four-time champion. Come on, man. Let's go. And as we keep going into the auto racing, Alex Palau became the first Spaniard to win the Indy 500 last week, but unfortunately, he didn't do so well. And actually, I messed it up. It's Palou. Sorry about that. Alex Palou finished 25th in the Grand Prix of Detroit. Sadly, didn't do so well in this race, but Kyle Kirkwood takes the checkered flag for the race in Detroit. And Ross Chastain winning the Coca-Cola 600 last week. Chase Briscoe gets the pole for the Cup Series in Nashville. Due to time constraint, I'm not able to get the winner, but I'll be doing that next week, just like I did this week with the winners of the later races. And then we go into golf. Scotty Scheffler, who has been on a tear in the PGA, got his 16th PGA Tour title, shooting a -10 at the Memorial Tournament. And then with the ladies, Maya Stark from Sweden won the U.S. Women's Open, shooting a -7 to win her first major championship in the LPGA. Congratulations to both of those sensational golfers. And then we go to soccer. This game right here, it was a one-sided affair as Paris Saint-Germain defeats Inter Milan 5-0. Now, this is the second French football club, PSG, which is what they call the squad Paris Saint-Germain. They're the second French football club all time to win the UCL. And this is the most one-sided affair. This is the first game that was won by over 4 goals, and PSG did a wonderful job of putting away Inter Milan, putting them away, getting their first UCL. Unfortunately, it was met with tragedy as the celebration went on. When PSG won, there were a couple of casualties in the celebration. This isn't good. That kind of erases the luster of the championship. We as fans, we got to do better. We can't do things like that. You know, it's for all fans in all sports. You got to be careful. And of course, going from soccer to football, American football, that is, as we have some spring football. The UFL playoffs will be starting this coming week, and the top 4 teams in spring football will be doing battle for the second UFL championship. Those 4 teams are the defending champion Birmingham Stallions and the Michigan Panthers from the USFL Conference, along with the St. Louis Battlehawks and the DC Defenders from the XFL Conference. I'm looking at some of this football, been watching this football most of the season. Looking forward to these playoffs. Let's see what happens. And then we go to the Women's College World Series. I've been having fun watching softball. Been very, very good watching the softball here in college, as Texas is going to await the winner of number 7 Tennessee and number 9 UCLA. And Texas Tech will see the winner of number 16 Oregon versus number 2 Oklahoma, the 4-time defending champions of women's college softball. That is the Oklahoma Sooners. For the Women's College World Series, that's going to happen this has happened Monday, of course, dropping this podcast for the time constraints. I'll be watching that. The national championship will be decided in a 3-game series from June 4th to 6th. Going to be watching that, keeping it locked on that as well. Then we go into hockey, of course. The home team, the Hurricanes, couldn't get it done. And we start on Wednesday with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, which will be a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals, with the defending champion Florida Panthers taking on the defending Western Conference champions, the Edmonton Oilers. And then we go into basketball, as Thursday will begin Game 1 of the NBA Finals, as the Indiana Pacers, who won the Eastern Conference, will do battle with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll be dropping some reels on the basketball and dropping some reels on the hockey sometime this week. So keep it locked on my socials and on the Boom Broadcasting socials and on the YouTube channel as we go ahead and begin this great week of sports. I'm looking forward to it. Fan of Sports segment, your first quick hit, has been complete. And of course, we've got the WNBA Week 2 as we will go through last week's games. We'll talk about last week, and then we'll go into the matchups that are coming up for this week. And then, of course, to the power rankings, I'll have my 1 through 5 for the power rankings in the WNBA. We'll start off with Tuesday's games here. We'll begin with the Atlanta Dream defeating the Los Angeles Sparks 88-82. Very, very close game. Alisha Gray, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 of 8 from the floor. Deadly accurate in that game. De'Erica Hamby, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 10 of 15 from the floor. This Sparks squad, they can spark. They've got the team to play. But this time around, they couldn't do it. Atlanta is too tough in this game. And then we move forward with the next Tuesday game, which is the Phoenix Mercury defeating the Chicago Sky. This game was very, very interesting. Satu Sabali, 20 points, 8 rebounds. And then you've got Miss Laska. There's just Kichka Laska, 18 points coming off the bench. And then Alyssa Thomas, 10 points, 15 assists for the Mercury. Ariel Atkins, who has actually had a pretty good week, putting 21 points down on the stat sheet for the Chicago Sky. All Chicago starters were in double figures in this game scoring for this season. That's the first time that they've been in double figures. All of them have. Phoenix was down by as much as 16 points heading into the fourth quarter with the Chicago Sky. They just could not close it out, but Phoenix able to get the win, coming back from 16 points down. And the Minnesota Lynx defeat the Seattle Storm 82-77 on Tuesday. Courtney Williams, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 of 18 from the floor. And then Gabby Williams for the Seattle Storm, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Minnesota had a little bit of trouble in this game, but the Storm wasn't able to weather that storm, couldn't do it against Minnesota. Minnesota gets the win, still going undefeated. The Dallas Wings, they defeat the Connecticut Sun 109-87. This is Paige Becker's return to Connecticut after graduating from UConn. She put up 21 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 of 10 from the floor from Paige buckets. Tina Charles, former UConn Husky as well too, 27 points, 6 rebounds. Marina Mabry with 19 points. This is the first win for the Dallas Wings this year. So a very fitting win, of course, for Paige Becker and the Dallas Wings. And then the New York Liberty running roughshod all over the Golden State Valkyries, 95-67. Brianna Stewart, 24 points, 10 of 14 from the floor. Maureen Johannes, 18 points off the bench. Veronica Burton and Kayla Thornton, 13 points apiece for the Valkyries as they come up short. Then we head into Wednesday. The Washington Mystics take out the Indiana Fever. Remember, the Fever do not have Caitlin Clark for 2 weeks, so she is sitting, watching her squad. They come up short in this game. Kelsey Mitchell for Indiana had 14 points. DeWanna Bonner, 21 points off the bench. Brittany Sykes, who has been a scoring machine for the Washington Mystics, 21 points, 9 rebounds in the victory. That was the one game for Wednesday. Then we move into Thursday. New York Liberty, 82-77 over the Golden State Valkyries again. Brianna Stewart, 27 points, 7 rebounds. Sabrina Ionescu, 24 points, 6 rebounds in that game. And then Janelle Saloon, 18 points, 13 rebounds for the Golden State Valkyries as they come up short against the reigning WNBA champion, New York Liberty. Then the Chicago Sky, get the win against the Dallas Wings. Camille Cardosa, 23 points, 8 rebounds. Courtney Vandersloot, 13 points, 9 assists, 4 steals. She moved into first place all time for points and field goals for the Chicago Sky, passing her wife, Allie Quigley, who was a player for the Chicago Sky. Very good player as well, too. That's her wife. That's very, very interesting. But now, with Dallas, Arike Gumbawale, 37 points in this game. Remember, Arike led the league in steals, led the league in points last year. She can ball. But in this game right here, they were missing Paige Becker in this game due to the concussion protocol, where she could not play. She had to sit for the next 2 games. So unfortunately, she wasn't able to play. Arike Gumbawale, 37 points. Then we go into Friday. Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun, get their first win of the season, beating the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark yet again. 85-83 is your score. Marina Mabry, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Great game for Money Mabry and Alea Boston, who they're going to have to lean on in the absence of Caitlin Clark. 17 points, 8 assists. Remember, she was a number 1 draft pick the year prior to Caitlin Clark coming to town. Then the New York Liberty, they destroy the Washington Mystics 85-63. Sabrina Ionescu, 28 points, 9 of 16 from the floor, 4 of 11 from 3. Jonquel Jones, 14 points and 18 boards in this game. It is hard to box out this Liberty squad. They are big and strong. They can score. They can do so many things on the basketball court. They're going to be tough to stop as the defending champions. And, of course, Brittany Sykes still getting it done, scoring 20 points in this game. Unfortunately, it is a loss by 22 points. And then the Sparks. Los Angeles Sparks losing the game here to the Las Vegas Aces, 96-81. Kelsey Plum, 17 points in her first game back with the Las Vegas Aces against them. Dearica Hamby, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Azuria Stevens, 10 points, 10 rebounds, got her a double-double. Asia Wilson, 35 and 13 in this game. Jackie Young adding on 26 points as the Los Angeles Sparks. No good homecoming for Kelsey Plum. She was embraced. The crowd loved her. But this game belonged to the Las Vegas Aces, 96-81. And then the Minnesota Lynx, a nail-biter against the Phoenix Mercury, winning 74-71 as Minnesota still remaining undefeated. Kayla McBride, 20 points in this game. Alana Smith, what's up, cuz? 19 points. But Nafisa Collier was a scratch in this game. Come to find out she had a knee injury, and her coach sat her out. Smart move there, Nafisa Collier in the running for MVP early. Definitely one of the impact players in the WNBA right now. They sat her out. But, of course, Natisha Heidemann. Sorry about that. Natisha Heidemann. Game-winning 3 as time expired, getting the win for the Minnesota Lynx, 74-71. Satu Sabali still playing wonderfully this year, 26 points, 10 of 20 from the floor. Kalani Brown, 15 points off the bench for the Mercury in a losing effort. And the Atlanta Dream defeating the Seattle Storm, 94-87. Alicia Gray playing some great basketball for the Dream, 28 points. Rain Howard playing even better, 33 points for her. Skylar Diggins, 20 points in the losing effort. But that Atlanta squad, they're going to be a squad to watch, it looks like. And then your lone game on Saturday, as the Chicago Sky defeat the Dallas Wings 94-83. Ariel Atkins, 26 points, 8 of 14 from the floor. I was talking about where is the team for the Chicago Sky. Ariel Atkins coming up big. Camila Cardosa coming up big. helping out Angel Reese as well, too. All the players have been getting into double figures. They're going to need that help as they got a key win. But remember, Dallas, without Paige Beckers in this game, Nalissa Smith, what's up, cuz? 20 points, 6 to 12 from the floor. And a losing effort, unfortunately, for the Dallas Wings. Now, week 2. Now, I'm sorry about that. Week 3, we've got the Commissioner's Cup coming up for the WNBA. If you are familiar with the Commissioner's Cup, 2-week-long tournament that we have here. A winner will be crowned in July. So we're going to see how the Commissioner's Cup goes. The Sunday games, of course, for time constraint, I won't be able to cover until the next week. The Sun will play the Liberty. The Phoenix Mercury will play the Los Angeles Sparks. The Las Vegas Aces will play the Seattle Storm. And the Minnesota Lynx will be playing the Golden State Valkyries on Sunday. Then Tuesday, you've got the Washington Mystics against the Indiana Fever, the Phoenix Mercury against the Lynx, and then Wings at the Seattle Storm. Thursday, the New York Liberty will be playing the Washington Mystics. The Golden State Valkyries will be playing the Phoenix Mercury Thursday. Then Friday, 2 games here. The Dream and the Sun will be doing battle in Connecticut. The Sparks will be playing the Wings in Dallas. And then Saturday, the Vegas Aces will be playing the Golden State Valkyries at Golden State. The Indiana Fever will be playing the Chicago Sky. And then the Storm will be playing the Mercury in Phoenix. And then let's go to these power rankings that we have here in the WNBA. My number 5 squad going to be the Phoenix Mercury, still at number 5, despite the close loss to the Lynx without Nafisa Collier. The Mercury are a tough squad behind the solid play of Satu Sabali and Alyssa Thomas, still playing some good basketball. And then the Vegas Aces had a bad loss to Seattle, but then they come back with another big win, the 35-point game from Asia Wilson, still keeping them in the top 5 here. The Aces are still tough, still got a great squad, still are strong with the unanimous MVP with their playing. Asia Wilson can play some ball. She's incredible. And my third team, my number 3 team, the Atlanta Dream, sneaking into the top 5 here. 4-game winning streak behind Alicia Gray and Rain Howard and Bree Jones. Great scoring Brittany Griner in the middle, making that Atlanta Dream look like a dream team. And then your number 2 squad, I flip-flopped the 1 and 2. So the Minnesota Lynx this week are my number 2 squad. Nafisa Collier, the nagging injury to the knee. You see the team slowing down without her. They're still winning. Still got some great play from Alana Smith and Courtney Williams. Still can play some good basketball, but Nafisa Collier, hard to replace her. And then the number 1 team is the New York Liberty. They've had their best start since the inaugural season in 1997, as they are 7-0. The Minnesota Lynx are still undefeated. One of those teams is going to have to go down. But it's going to be interesting to see. You got your WNBA here on Quick Hits. Let's go ahead and bring the show home. And that is your show, everybody. Thank you for watching. We covered a barrage of sports here, from lacrosse to auto racing to soccer to spring football. Then your WNBA. We all added it up in one little bow under 30 minutes. That's what the show is going to be, under 30 minutes. Get you in, get you out. That's why we call it Quick Hits. Before I go, I want to say congratulations to a great group of young ladies. West Wilkes Lady Blackhawks winning the state championship in 2A women's softball. Good job, ladies. Decisive win in game 1. And then a clutch win in game 2. Congratulations. You deserve all the kudos. You guys have played well, being number 1 in the state in 2A softball. Congratulations to the Lady Blackhawks. Some great kiddos. When I was a substitute teacher, I had some of those kiddos in the classroom. Great kids, wonderful kids. Congratulations. You guys deserve this. Very good job. But that's my show. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next Tuesday talking more WNBA, being more of a fan of sport than what I am. Thank you for your time. But now it is my time. We'll see you next week. Make sure that you're watching the Dugout Debrief. Chris DeLuca talking baseball. Jason Colenso, 3 from Deep, 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 12 p.m. Your lunch break. You're going to love it. Hopefully my man Michael Davis be coming back soon without a pocket in the Drop the Mic Wrestling Podcast. He's had some things he had to do. You know, he's the press. He got to do his thing. He's got to delegate, be the man. Sean Lucas with Wrestling of Destiny with It Stinks TV and Movie Podcast. Go ahead and watch him. Make sure that you are watching everybody here on Boom Broadcasting. But that is my time until next Tuesday. I'm Shayna Smith, and this is Quick Hits. Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly